Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Hopkins, and I wanted to read it to you another fairy tale called Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's retold and illustrated by James Marshall. You notice on the front, it also has a Caldecott Honor Medal, which means the year that it was published, it won that honor for the illustrations. In this story, there are a couple of words that you might not be familiar with. Porridge. Porridge is like oatmeal. The bears put porridge in their bowls. There's also a word called coarse. Coarse is talking about fur in this story, and it means it's kind of stiff. As you're reading your books, look for words that you might know and find new meanings of them. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This is a fairy tale, and sometimes fairy tales start with once upon a time and end with happily ever after, but they don't always have to do that. Once there was a little girl called Goldilocks. "What a sweet child," said someone new in town. "That's what you think," said the neighbor. So everybody thought Goldilocks was really sweet, but by the way she looked, but some people said she was not. One morning, Goldilocks' mother sent her to buy muffins in the next village. "You must promise not to take the shortcut through the forest," she said. "I've heard that bears live there." "I promise," said Goldilocks. But to tell you the truth, Goldilocks was one of those naughty little girls who do exactly as they please. And look, she went through the forest, and it even says shortcut, danger, very risky, turn back, go the other way, not a good idea. But she did not listen to her family. Meanwhile, in a clearing deep inside the forest, in a charming house all their own, a family of brown bears were sitting down to breakfast. "Patooey!" cried big old Papa Bear. "This porridge is scalding. I've burned my tongue." "I'm dying!" cried Baby Bear. "Not really," said Mama Bear, who was medium size. "That's quite enough." "I know," said Papa Bear. "Why don't we go for a spin while the porridge is cooling?" Remember we talked about porridge being like oatmeal. "Excellent," said Mama Bear. So they got on their rusty old bicycles and off they went. A few minutes later, Goldilocks arrived at the bear's house. She walked right in without even bothering to knock. On the dining room table were 3 inviting bowls of porridge. "I don't mind if I do," said Goldilocks, helping herself to the biggest bowl. And there she is, eating their porridge, and in the bear's house. But the porridge in the biggest bowl was much too hot. "Patooey!" said Goldilocks, and she spat it out. Next, she tasted the porridge in the medium-sized bowl, but the porridge was much too cold. Then Goldilocks tasted the porridge in the little bowl, and it was just right. Neither too hot nor too cold. In fact, she liked it so much that she gobbled up all the porridge in that small bowl. Feeling full and satisfied, Goldilocks thought it would be great fun to have a look around. Right away she noticed a lot of coarse brown fur everywhere, and there's that word, coarse, which means it's kind of stiff. It's not soft. "They must have kittens," she said. In the parlor, which is like a living room, there were 3 chairs. "I don't mind if I do," she said, climbing into the biggest one. But the biggest chair was much too hard, and she couldn't get comfortable. There she is in the biggest chair, and she's tried to get comfortable, but it wasn't possible. Next, she sat in the medium-sized chair, but that chair was much too soft, and she thought she might never get out of it. Then Goldilocks sat in the little chair, and that was just right, neither too hard nor too soft. In fact, she liked it so much that she rocked and rocked until the chair fell completely to pieces. She broke the small chair, and it's not even her house. Now, all that rocking left Goldilocks quite tuckered out. Tuckered out means she's tired. I could take a little snooze, she said, so she went to look for a comfy place to nap. Upstairs were 3 beds. I don't mind if I do, said Goldilocks, and she got into the biggest one, but the head of the biggest bed was much too high. So the big bed doesn't work for her. Next she tried the middle-sized bed, but the head of the bed was much too low. Then Goldilocks tried the little bed, and it was just right. Soon she was all nice and cozy and sound asleep. She did not hear the bears come home. The 3 bears were mighty hungry, but when they went to breakfast, they could scarcely believe their eyes. Somebody's been in my porridge, said Papa Bear. Somebody's been in my porridge, said Mama Bear. Somebody's been in my porridge, said Baby Bear, and even ate it all up. In the parlor, which is like the living room, the 3 bears were in for another little surprise. Somebody's been sitting in my chair, said Papa Bear. Somebody's been sitting in my chair, said Mama Bear. Somebody's been sitting in my chair, said Baby Bear, and it's broken to smithereens. Smithereens means it's broken all to pieces. The 3 bears went upstairs on tiptoe, not knowing what they would discover. At first everything seemed fine, but then Papa Bear lay down in his big brass bed. Somebody has been lying in my bed, he cried, and he was not amused. Means he was not happy. Egads, cried Mama. Somebody's been lying in my bed. Look, cried Baby Bear, somebody's been lying in my bed, and she is still there. There's Baby Bear pointing. Look at them all looking at Goldilocks. Now see here, roared Papa Bear. Goldilocks woke up and with a start, and her eyes nearly popped out of her head, and before the bears could demand a proper exclamation, Goldilocks was out of the bed, out the window, and on her way home. Who was that little girl? Asked Baby Bear. I have no idea, said Mama Bear, but I hope we never see her again. And they never did. And that's the end of Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Now, I did not do the voices of the Papa Bear and Mama Bear and Baby Bear, but when you read a version of it, you might want to do that and use your deep Papa Bear voice, your medium-sized Mama voice, and your little bitty baby voice. Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Retold and illustrated by James Marshall. Tomorrow there will be a video about some activities that you can do to go along with this book. Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Happy reading, everybody.